Finally, we made it here. Blazing flames of war. The Allied forces have finally arrived in Aniad. Finally. I should go to where the Lutero soldiers are gathered. And hopefully I should get a Paradise Guide quest somewhere. Epic Raid unlocked. Okay. Where's the Paradise? There it is. Okay. So yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it a little bit. All right. Close these up. Okay. So after we finished all this, I think we went straight up into so yeah, the guide quest obviously said that we should find the Dawn Priest there somewhere, and then we straight up went to Stern, and then there was the red thingy that ended up infecting everyone. Like they found that red thingy, and then they were doing tests with it, and then it got free, and then suddenly the entire Stern is infected. So yeah, that was obviously unfortunate. And then we had to go find the thingy. You had to go find the Helidom, Gina's Helidom. Got the power thingy to fix things, and then obviously who's gonna help find it? Pirates, because there was some map, treasure map deal. And then we went to the pirates, and that's where we find the connecting character in Ren, obviously, and Ren is trying to get back to Kurzan. And we also wanna get into Kurzan, and then we went on an adventure with Black Fang and Ren. That was nice. Like trying to go and find Halidom. That was nice with Black Fang and Ren together. That's good. And obviously, and then Armin showed up. It's nice to hang out with Armin as well. And we found the thingy that helped us go through the stuff. How was it like? Oh yeah, so that was a big cutscene, right? Like when we found, like we fought, I guess, Red Moon Narkiel, who became an underling of Echidna, and when he lost, he decided to just trash the place. Like if he can't get it, then I guess no one will get it, or something like that. But then obviously, once the goddess of the sea is being in the water, or being enveloped in, or underwater, then obviously the thing got activated. So I guess we found out that Gina is pretty cool, although there was like no evidence to the contrary even earlier. So far I think like we know the Regulus is pretty stinky, but I think Septrum helped us, Procyon helped us, Gina helped us, maybe other gods helped us as well. I don't know, I don't remember exactly what's up with that. But yeah, when that thingy got activated, that's when the red, I guess, blood-like energy in the water got pushed back, miasma. But then they solidified into Silma crystals, and then we still couldn't go into Kurzan properly. But then Ren popped off. We could have like just a tiny passage, just enough for the ship, and then we went through with the help of the orb, I guess, the Halidom, Gina's thingy. So that was neat, and now we are finally on land, but everyone's either dead or dying. And by the way, let me just say that they love, like, first of all, obviously, I see that they like Ren. Ren is obviously the whole protagonist of this part, but at the same time they also like making Ren suffer like tremendously. Like obviously when we meet her, she's already in like a bad mental state, considering that the other guy, Cario or something like that, pushed her into the water when things were really bad. And she's like, oh yeah, everyone's probably either dead or suffering, and she wants to get back really quickly, or like as quick as she can. Obviously, it's not that easy. And then when we get back, everyone's either dead or dying, and then there's a friend, SM, I think, who she has to take down. Otherwise, Hassan almost killed the kid. I was really looking for her. That was rough. So like, obviously, then she begged Ren to take her out before she could do more harm, or she could, I guess, transform into a demon. So yeah, obviously the lanes have a very, very rough deal overall. Especially Kurzan. Can't really, just up and leave from where Kazuros sealed. So yeah, obviously that's very rough. And there's also obviously the whole deal with the Tsar and the Vinus and all that stuff, which I obviously have seen quite a lot of it from the other character. Like from this point onward is the part that I've already done, and then all the rapport stuff and all the knowledge through the raid stories and whatnot. So yeah, it's not like we don't know what's going on from here on out to I guess like our present, but yeah, basically the only people who survived, I guess, is just the named characters that we know of, right? Like if I know that they are in the report, then I know that they are surviving. But everyone else, they basically all died. Like I said earlier, that they really like making Ren suffer. Like the Cario guy who pushed her into the water to save her, he went mad, pretty much. Or like very, very power focused, and you just basically killed a bunch of survivors that just say like, they were gonna die anyway, so might as well make me stronger, that kind of stuff. So obviously he had to be taken out as well. And then I think it was like not just one, but multiple scenarios, like when Ren walks up and the survivors are waving at her and like, oh, there are survivors, we have to save them. And then instantly Behemoth comes in and one-shots everyone and then leaves. And then it like later again, where we're like, trying to, take back the city. Again, like, oh, Ren is alive, Ren is there. And then Behemoth comes in and then again one-taps basically everyone. And then especially when there's like one guy who's like kind of trying to get away, but basically just crawling on the ground. And then Behemoth specifically sends down a bolt. I think that was Behemoth and not some other random like Vinus or someone. But like specifically to take. So it's like, I guess you could say the story writers love making Ren suffer. But you could also say that Behemoth in particular just loves making her suffer for some reason. Like it almost feels like it just just make Ren as miserable as possible. That's the idea, that's the plan. So like I said, it's like the few people that I know, like, okay, they are gonna survive because we know their name and I've done the report and I know that they are alive at least until to the present. Because obviously we know that just because someone's in the report doesn't mean that later it's not gonna, disappear. And obviously there's not many examples, but yeah, let's just say that towards the end of it, when there was Zinnervale showing up, I did not skip the dialogue. You know, especially for him, for obvious reasons. But now it's basically connected in the story. It's like now I know when we are and what's exactly going on, and I'm definitely appreciating you know, the whole allied forces stuff, because obviously we know earlier like that was the reason why like Kurzan is, at least earlier, right, like when it wasn't like actually a continent. I think a map said something like, always, you know, uninhabitable, and you know, we can't get there anyways. It's like kind of in the closed off. There's nothing really there, aside from obviously, I guess, Kezeros being sealed there. But I guess we, you know, eventually made it here, and yeah, finally we got here. Because originally, right, like when I start from North Kurzan, and I already see that everyone's here, like the allied forces, as we can, you know, see here. You know, the one gang over there and another gang over here, and then I think there's like, yeah, so there's like Stern. Obviously that's not all of them, it's just, you know, representative. And yeah, we got the sages over here, Ren, Tamut, in, I guess, their places. But obviously we've seen there was a bunch of ships, a bunch of people coming in there. So that's that. Blazing Flames of War I completed, so if I can do this at 1620, but that's gonna be like way later, probably months, if not more. And then here's the content list. Finally, Paradise is open. But because I just wanted the keys, wanted access to the keys, at least. But for the story, yeah, we went to this time like actually places. Like we went to what? We went to Stern, and then we also went to Pretoria, whatever the Pretoria. Yep, I think to pick up Armin, and then we went, you know, to Blackfang's place, and we got to travel with Blackfang basically until we got to land. That's when Blackfang peaced out, obviously, because she's a pirate. Because she's, you know, once we are off the sea, then, you know, she just goes back. So yeah, that was neat. That we weren't just like, you know, straight up go to here. That it was a significant portion of the story was to actually get to, I guess, first of all get to Kurzan, but then, you know, that we were in Vesper, the Cursed Land, and then we had, you know, we had to go through all the stuff to get here, and in the meantime, many lanes died, aside from basically the few characters that we know from rapport. So yeah, that was something. And then obviously when at the end Ren used the flame spear, that was pretty cool. Also Ren pretty strong, like especially like even at the beginning, I guess, when Ren pulled down some of the crystals to give us passage into Kurzan. Even that looked pretty powerful and pretty OP. And I was kind of thinking that, you know, maybe there's like a way for all those ships to, you know, get in here, but I guess if you don't have the equipment to break through, or you don't have the capability of breaking through the Sealmana crystals, then I guess it doesn't matter how many ships you have. So, and I guess that was the basic premise, right? Like they can only come in if we open the way from inside. But I guess in this case, Ren with the flame spear. I was also thinking about Behemoth, that the Behemoth we get the question. Oh, defeat Behemoth. I'm like, okay, 500 bars. lots and lots of HP, and then we at the end finally together we take down 10 bars, and we bring it down to 490, and then Behemoth is like, okay, I'm out. But that is the part when like Behemoth, you know, I guess I would say standing there, but obviously in the sky, so like floating there, and the Behemoth is looking at us. We are looking at Behemoth, and then Behemoth like, okay, I'm out. And then I was thinking that okay, but what if, so like we took down 10 bars from 500. Like what if Behemoth decides like, okay, I'm just gonna come back tomorrow. But I guess later I thought like, one, that we are basically in the time frame, we basically letting in the allied forces right away. So like probably if Behemoth comes back, with the sidereals here and all the allied forces, and it's probably not a good idea from the perspective of Behemoth. But also, I guess the main reason would be that Behemoth was here basically, to hold down the fort, because as long as we are not able to open up the way, then the allied forces cannot land here. And then as for the forces that are inside, they are like they were being harassed by Behemoth, such as the survivors getting killed repeatedly in front of Ren. So like obviously the assumption would be right that Behemoth has done that, multiple times. Or maybe not, maybe just Behemoth just came back right then and there, because I remember characters are talking like, oh, Behemoth is back, oh no. And then Ren was also saying that as long as Behemoth is not dead, then it's not safe, or Elniad is not safe for Kurzan, or Elniad cannot be retaken. So I guess we like kind of made Behemoth leave. So I guess that's as good of a victory as we're ever gonna get with the forces that we had. So I don't know exactly what Behemoth is just like, okay, I guess my job is kind of done, or at least I did my job as long as I could. Because obviously Varkan is the bad one, right? Like the bad guardian. So I think Varkan sent Behemoth to, send word, I guess, that Varkan's holding up Vergris. So yeah, and then I guess part of the job was whatever Behemoth was doing here. So yeah, it was just very rough for Ren. Everyone just dies in front of her. Like, even though she's pretty strong, there's nothing really that she can do. And I guess that the highest clapback that you could get, it was making Behemoth piece leave, because it really obviously looks like if Behemoth actually decided to fight to the death, probably everyone is dying here, our player character included, because I mean everyone looked pretty strong-ish. Like Armen was doing some cool stuff, Tamut was doing cool stuff, Ren was doing cool stuff. I don't know, I guess you could say that the player character was also doing cool stuff, but that was obviously not in cutscene. That's the actual gameplay. Yes, I guess you could call that. Also, there's a very like an edit flavor with the character that I'm playing this this part through a Shadow Hunter, like actually Demonic Impulse Shadow Hunter specific. So obviously it vibes with the other lanes. Also, it's kind of interesting that everyone has to struggle with not being overtaken and corrupted by the power of Kezeros, I suppose. And I'm just like, I can just turn into demon and then turn back, no problem, no biggie. So that is kind of interesting. So yeah, here we are. And I finally caught up. And I guess I'm pretty much stopping with the story for a while. Because I need to hone up to this to actually continue, right? And also, like I said, from here on out, I already know what's going on because I've played it through the main. So yeah. And now I kind of have to... I kind of have to do the same thing over here. And I also wanna, you know, push this one to 90, like 1490. So it can do Belshazzar and, you know, start doing the gear. But like for these, I had no, you know, obviously these two power pads, but like this one, I have no issue of, you know, just doing the solos. But on the scrapper, it's probably gonna feel pretty awkward because, you know, I tried to do the shock part of it, didn't really work out all that much. So now it's the stamina, the taijutsu version, but I don't know, the damage is... I'm definitely missing something, but I guess obviously gear goes up, damage also goes up. But I don't know. It might actually be a bit awkward to do Belshazzar. But I'm sure solo is so easy that anyone can do it. Any character and any player. I guess that's the baseline anyway. And also that anyone can do it. That's one thing that I wanna mention a little bit, which is what I've very much felt as I was progressing through the story. Right, is that when they are trying to give you like some sort of puzzle, something that is like, okay, figure this out, and then you can progress. The problem is, right, that they cannot do like an actual proper puzzle. Right, they can't do an actual proper puzzle because, you know, it's part of the main thing. So if it was like side content, right, like a side quest or something, then maybe you can get away with doing actual puzzles. But being in the main storyline, it just means that you just have to have a very easy puzzles. But the problem with that is that because the puzzles are so easy, it just becomes an annoyance. Like it doesn't really... So when I go through it, I'm not thinking, okay, oh yeah, let's figure out this puzzle. Oh, it's so interesting. No, it's just, I don't care about your puzzles because it's awful. Also with the riddles, it's like, oh, what's the riddle? And then it basically just there's a paper with the answer to the riddle on it. Oh, and then if you are waiting a little bit, it actually happened. When I was progressing, we were like, I think with Jericho, when we were checking something that like the, you know, beginning of the stuff. I guess when we checked into Plechia for a little bit at like the beginning of the section of the South Kurzan section, and then we're like, okay, ooh, what's the answer? And then the answer is like right there, and then even Jericho is like, oh, try this one as the answer. And I'm like, okay, well, thanks. So it's just it basically kicks you through the puzzle, if you could even call it a puzzle or riddle or whatever. Same with like the Neria rapport, the Valdis Neria. It's like, oh, what's the riddle? But you can't really put a proper riddle on it into it because then people might not be able to do it, and then that's gonna be frustrating. But I guess rapport, you could actually get away with like a bit higher difficulty, right? Because it's not a part of the main quest. But I definitely understand that you can't really do difficult puzzles in main quest line. Otherwise, you know, someone just gets stuck there, or like gets annoyed and then just quits the game because they can't progress without solving the puzzle. So even if it's not, so yeah, it's probably not a good idea to put like a very difficult puzzle in there. But like I said, the result is that it's just at that point, why even do a puzzle at all? I don't know. It's hard though, right? Like you wanna put in like different types of, you know, quests as you go through the main quest line. You need to shake things up a little bit, but you are constrained by, you know, everyone being actually able to just get through the story. So like you can't actually challenge players in any way. So yeah. And overall, I think I can like kind of say it as not just for Kurzan, but like an overall wrap up, is that I would definitely have played it through with like a different mindset if I didn't have like this huge carrot on a stick in front of me. That carrot being paradise, and just the paradise being, you know, so important for art progression or like potential art progression. And also I definitely should have just pushed through my odds a lot earlier. But for a while I didn't even know for entirely that silver is heavy hone up to 1580. Which so like basically when you get to 19 on these. And obviously these ones are the Akan already. And then you just gear transfer over them. But yeah, like for the previous one, like I checked and it was gold, but then it was only gold because I didn't get the new tier, right? Like so I get the new tier and then I gear transfer and then from there on out it's silver again. It was only gold if I wanted to for some reason to hone on like the original one, because I think that the relic goes up to like 15. Also the legendary also goes up to 15, and then from 15 on it asks for gold, but then when you hit 15 then you unlock the Belshazzar solo, and then you do the Belshazzar and then you transfer the gear there, and then it's silver from there again. And then same thing later, right? Like you max out the Belshazzar and then you get to the Akan. But I guess there it's no different, right? Because like even when you transfer to Akan gear, it still costs gold from there on out, because then you are already on 1580. So yeah, that's where I'm at. But overall, I'm enjoying, like whenever I actually get to play the game, right? I'm enjoying that I can just, you know, transform and then, you know, spam the buttons. The blood march feels very enjoyable. Hyper Awakening is just so weird because usually things never, you know, blessed. That so like you kind of had to like drag it out a little bit to last long enough to be able to use the Hyper Awakening. And obviously Hyper Awakening, you just press it and then the fight is over anyway. But yeah, enjoying it. And also like the normal version of it, the Fallen Ruin, it's very nice and snappy to use. So yeah, I mean I've enjoyed, you know, playing with this one. I don't really care, like I said earlier, I don't really care about, you know, how it lower damage ceiling. I don't know, like it's gonna take ages anyway until I get into group content with any of my alts, because, you know, that's just how it is. And yeah, okay, now I'm really done for real. For this one, I'm you know, doing Word 3. I'm not gonna talk about Word 3 stuff. I wanna, you know, do a separate video for that one. Once I'm, you know, finally done with one or two that is quite annoying and difficult. It's just RNG basically. Anyways, but I wanna try to hit 1690 somehow. Like once I get some Mokuko token to get one of the selection packs, and then earlier I said that I won't be able to get the other one. It is what it is. And then try to hone, but I don't know how many pieces I will have to, you know, hone up, advanced hone up to make it. Because the reason is I kind of wanna get the two that is in the shop, in the event shop, before it ends. Because like there's this one at 1690, so if I can get it up there, then that's fine. And I look very poor, but at least I have some leap, because I was buying the, I guess not that much anymore, huh? Life energy potions, but I've been using a bunch, trying to get Word Tree leaves. I am at 100 and something, 103. And obviously, ideally, I want to get pushed to 108, and then I get back those, and then I can focus on getting gold. So yeah, that is the plan. And then obviously, before I do anything else with this one, I'm gonna do a little bit of Paradise, so I can qualify for getting the keys next week. Although I don't know when the reset is happening, like when Paradise Season 2 is happening. But I wanna get to at least the point where I get one orb, right? Like one orb, so I can equip it over here. Right here. Alright. Alright, that's it. Oh, and also, I finally got the Blood Claw shard. I finally got the shard from Sevakatoon. Like a nice story there. Yeah, and the Sevakatoon shard I finally got today. So that means I got the point. Obviously, this needs a long time for me to actually unlock all the way. But on the main, I think I'm at 96, and then if I can level up my karma, for which again I have to do the thingy. I have to do Rashaza. So yeah, I don't know why I'm procrastinating on it this much again. I mean, I know why, because last time before reset I went in and then I did so like we got through gate 1 and then on gate 2 I obviously didn't do it right because I didn't I don't know, for some reason I didn't realize, like, okay, I'm in group, so I'm in part 2 number 4, so that means 3 plus 1, and that we are group party 2, so we are the plus 1, and then if I am number 4, then the 3 times that's 12, and then I'm at 1 o'clock. But at the same time, it wasn't only me that was messing up, so like, even if I do it right, we don't clear, because someone was like, obviously right before reset, everyone was like, well, if it didn't work and we only did gate 1, then we only did gate 1, and so I obviously are gonna peace out, because at that point we was like, what, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., so obviously they would leave. It was very, very late. But yeah, like this time there should be no issue there. But yeah, tomorrow I think I will be busy as much as I can be busy, but there's still still time. So I got this one up. I need to push this one through, like I said, Rowan, Agesha, Lechia, Valdis, and South Kurzan. But obviously, with that character, I'm gonna skip through the cutscenes too. So like with this one, I did not skip any cutscene. Excluding the one that is like in the dungeon and the automatic skip is turned on in settings. Like I did not turn off that one, but aside from that, all the story cutscenes I did not skip. Even if I wanted to skip, because I didn't care all that much, I still sat there and went through it. And by and large, like most of them are very, very good anyway. So like it's not like I regretted watching them or anything. It's just sometimes you're not vibing with the story all that much, and sometimes you're just not as interested as the story would like you to be. But even then, visually, the cutscenes are very, very interesting. Even if the story doesn't stick with you necessarily too deep. But it's a matter of many things, right? Like it's not just the story; it's also you as what headspace are you in? How are you feeling? And like what team is like interesting to you right now? Like some team that you might have been interested in like a year ago, that right now you are not all that interested, or maybe you are not feeling as much depth to it as you would like. So like you're kind of getting disconnected a little bit from the story. But like I said, it's a very impactful thing that is the paradise at the end that I was going towards, and that definitely made me be in a hurry and be maybe less patient at times. But yeah, like when it was like dialogue that can be like skipped through, then most of the time I did skip through it. Like I said, first line, last line, and then that gives you a good enough idea. But sometimes I didn't. Like sometimes you get a bit more interested, and sometimes you don't skip through it, and sometimes you just read everything through properly. It depends. Oh yeah, I don't know. It feels like a grind at some point, just getting through the stuff. But obviously, it's like when I do this, it's like when I did everything else that I really wanted to do for the day, and that's when I do and progress the stories. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have enough time to get through with Berserker as well. And yeah, that's basically the goal. And like I said, getting the main to like 1690 maybe, but I don't have like high hopes. Like I'm not really necessarily angling for getting to Kazaros, but like I'm not like I don't feel like I'm close or anything, and obviously I'm not gonna go for hard mode or Kazaros the first, obviously. But I don't know. Maybe some events line up. Maybe I don't know what exactly coming after, because there is some event, but I've heard that it's not that great. It's not that juicy. So I don't know. It's like what? Because I mean 700 is like kind of reasonable to hit. I guess, like, for example, I'm thinking that I will be able to do this on the main, or like get this one on main before the event ends. I think that's reasonable, but I am not sure if that would mean that I can do. I can try to do Kazuros. Obviously, Kazuros normal. 7, 10. Yeah, 710. Yeah, I don't know. I still have event gems though on support, and I don't know. Some people really seem to hate that, and I guess I'm kind of hoping that I might get lucky with the keys and get some gems. That's the level 8 gems like bound and tunable for free, that kind of stuff. If I understand it correctly, that would be nice if I can like get like 2 at least. Get 2, and then I can do the cooldowns. Put the cooldowns on level 8s. That's fine, because I don't necessarily see myself being able to buy gems, like actual level 8s. But yeah, 710. I don't exactly know the release date, so it's quite unlikely. It's quite unlikely because the boxes that we get are not very impactful. I mean, it's nice. It's something, but I don't think it. Like maybe it's enough for a tab, if even that. I don't know. I guess it's just gonna be I'm finishing the advanced honing on the pieces to advanced honing 20, and then I guess for the next part to even unlock the tempering, or like to do the tempering, I'm gonna have to do more of them, which I mean I already should be able to do, and I should be doing it. But yeah. Anyways, I finally reached the goal of getting to paradise, and yeah, that's it. Bye bye.